Peace world, it's your boy Wise coming at you with another video, and today I'm gonna be explaining to you why money is fake and why you need to stop living your life to blindly chase money. You feel me? Now, the way that this system was created, we've been brainwashed into just blindly chasing money for no reason. You feel me? Our whole lives revolve around making money. We go to work every day just to come home, pay bills, go back to work, and make more money. You feel me? We've been indoctrinated into this system where money controls our lives. You feel me? But money isn't even a real thing that actually exists. You feel me? People will kill for money. People will risk their lives for money. People will go against their morals for money. When money is something that can be printed every day. You feel me? And to explain to you why money is fake, I'm going to start by giving you a brief history on how money even came to be. You feel me? Now, before money existed, before people created money, because money is a man-made concept, we used the barter system. And how that worked is goods and services were exchanged for other goods and services. So if I raised cows and you made tents, and I needed a tent, but you needed a cow, you would give me a tent, and I would give you a cow, and that's how the barter system worked. We would exchange things for other things. You feel me? But the flaw with the barter system was it was hard to determine a fair exchange for things, because how do I determine how much strawberries is worth a cow? You feel me? It's hard to do that. And for that reason, a lot of people ended up having to give whatever they had to give to get what they needed, and exchanges weren't always fair. So around 1700 BC in China, they created the first medium of exchange to try and solve this problem. And now what they did was they created these little coins out of precious metals. The first coins they made were out of bronze. Now, when they created these bronze coins, each coin would weigh a gram of bronze. And now, instead of exchanging your goods and services for other goods and services, you would exchange your goods and services for precious metals. You feel me? So if I had a cow, I would tell you I need 10 grams of bronze for my cow. And then you would give me 10 bronze coins, and I would give you a cow. And that's how money first came to be. Now, after the years, as this system was established, kingdoms and royalty, they started to realize how much power and control came with these precious metals. The more of these coins you had, the more power and control you had over people. So, because of this, around 600 BC, the civilization of Lydia, they created the first mint, where a civilization minted their own currency. Now, this is where the manipulation of money started. Now, when they minted these currencies, what they did, instead of each coin weighing a gram and you exchanging your goods and services for an amount of metal, they stamped the value of the coin on the face of the coin. And they started to make these coins thinner and out of less metal. So now this coin isn't actually a gram of gold, but it's worth whatever it says on the face of this coin. You feel me? And that's the beginning of money not actually being worth what they're saying it's worth. You feel me? So now people use these coins as a medium of exchange. You feel me? And then as global trade came about, and now civilizations in certain parts of the world had to trade with civilizations in other parts of the world, they created what's called a promissory note, which is what we today call cash money. You feel me? It's a promissory note. And what this promissory note meant was it'd be a piece of paper signed by the king that said, I owe you X amount of gold. You feel me? So the king, instead of carrying all these coins and all this, all these gold coins, because it's very difficult to transport large amounts of metal from one place to another. They just made this piece of paper, and you got this piece of paper, and you knew whenever you go to the king with this piece of paper, you're gonna get your gold in exchange. You feel me? So now, instead of doing trade with these coins, they started doing trade with these pieces of paper. And it got to the point where the value of these pieces of paper were so accepted that they really didn't even need the coins anymore, because they accepted the value of the paper being backed by the king's gold. You feel me? And that's how gold-backed currency came to be. You feel me? It was a promissory note backed by actual gold that the king had. You feel me? And for thousands of years after this, that's the system that we used. We had currency backed by precious metals. You feel me? Now, fast forward a few thousand years, the US government had this idea that said, wait, instead of having the currency be backed by precious metal, which is how it actually used to be in America, you used to have your promissory notes, and you used to be able to go to the bank and actually exchange this note for the gold. But the American government said, let's change this currency system into a system called Fiat Currency. That's when the Federal Reserve in the US came about. And how does fiat currency work? That's when, instead of having currency backed by precious metals, now you had currency being backed by a country's economy. So now you can no longer exchange your banknotes for any amount of precious metals, because these banknotes are no longer backed by precious metals. They're backed by the economy of the country. But what happens when the economy of the country is failing? Does that mean now your money is no longer worth anything? So they created this system where now the money is no longer backed by metals. And when they did this is the point where money became a completely imaginary concept. Money became an illusion the second it stopped being backed by precious metals. You feel me? Because now a country could print as much money as it wants. Before, they couldn't do that, because every time they print one of these promissory notes, they have to have gold in the bank to back it. But now, since that doesn't exist, they're able to print as much as they need when they need it. As we saw during the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, the American government started to print currency like it has never done before. And because of that, today, 40% of the US dollars in circulation were printed within the last 2 years. Now, what happens when they print more and more and more money? The more they print money, the more the value of this money decreases. The purchasing power of this money decreases. You feel me? So even though they're printing more and more and more of it, that means it's able to do less and less and less. You feel me? So the more they print, the more that the goods and services, the price and cost of goods and services have to go up. You feel me? And the way I like to explain this to people is, imagine if we were talking about gold-backed currency, right? Imagine every dollar represented a gram of gold. So you have 100 grams of gold, you have $100. But say I went and I printed out another $100. That would mean that now every dollar bill actually represents half a gram of gold now. Since I printed twice as much, but the amount of what's backing the currency is still the same. That means now, since I printed twice as much of these notes are now worth half as much. You feel me? Now, that's the way I like to explain it. The more they print it, the less the value of it is. You feel me? So, like in COVID, when they printed these crazy amounts of money, the value went down, and that's what we call inflation. As they print more currency, the cost of things need to go up, because the more they print it, the more the purchasing power of this paper is going down. You feel me? So they created this system where they had complete control over the money. They could just print more when they need it. And the second they created this fiat currency system, they also created inflation. Inflation is something that never existed until money stopped being backed by precious metals. You feel me? So they created this system. They created inflation. Now, the way I like to break down to people why money is completely an illusion is, okay, say I went to work for this company, right? Now, they're going to give me a paycheck. They're going to give me a piece of paper that says a number on it. And I'm going to take this paper to the bank. And now that number is going to go from this piece of paper onto my bank account, which is a number on a computer screen or on my phone that says I now have this amount of money, right? Now I go to the store, I tap my card, I spend $100. Now the number on my screen is $100 less, but the number on their screen is $100 more. But what actually happened? Stop and think about it. What actually happened and what was actually exchanged? Where was the actual money? Right? I mean, if this piece of paper is just a promissory note, where's the actual money? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If you have $100 million in your bank account, you can't go to any bank right now and get $100 million because they don't have it, because that doesn't actually exist. It's just an imaginary number. You feel me? And the second you start to wrap your head around this, you start to understand, wait, there is no money. There actually is no money. So why would I risk my life for it? Why would I risk my freedom for it? And when you wrap your head around this concept, you start to realize, wait a minute. This money isn't real. They just keep putting imaginary numbers, and these imaginary numbers just keep transferring from one place to another. It's a cycle. Money flows in a cyclical manner. You feel me? That's why it's called currency. It flows like the current of a river, and it goes in a cycle, and it constantly circulates. Currency goes in circulation. You feel me? That means every time money leaves your hands, it's gonna circle back. You feel me? And once you understand this concept, you realize how easy it is to make money because it's not real. And you realize how it's very nonsensical for you to stress yourself out about this imaginary thing that they print every day when it's not real. You feel me? It's not real. Like, you feel me? I know I might not do the best job of articulating this point, but I want you guys, watch this video 2 times, watch it 3 times, watch it 4 times, and really pay attention to what I'm saying and try to wrap your head around the point that I'm trying to get across. You feel me? I know I might not be the best at articulating my points, but I try. And just try your best to really understand what I'm saying to you and really look at how money works and how money flows. You feel me? And you will really understand what I'm saying, that it's not a real thing. It doesn't actually exist. It's a social construct, and it's a concept, just like a border. This piece of paper has no value unless we all accept that it has value. Because once everybody accepts something, it becomes reality. Just like a border. A border is not a real thing unless we all accept it. Like, they could say at this point right here, this is the US and this is Canada. But in reality, I could walk across a field, and on one side of the field, I'm in Canada. On the other side of the field, I'm in the US. And I would have no idea, because a border isn't a real thing. This is just a big piece of land. You feel me? And it's when you start to realize things like this that you realize, A lot of things in society are concepts and social constructs that we've been programmed into. These aren't real things that exist. And we're living our lives being controlled by things that aren't even real. These are just concepts that were made by people like you and me. You feel me? And yet and still, people treat money like it's God, when money is just an idea that was created by people. And when people realized how much control and power they could have over other people by manipulating this system of money, that's when the world started to become what it is today. That's why corporations run the world, you feel me? Because they control the money. That means they control the people. And if you stop letting money control you, that means they can no longer control you. You feel me? But that's my 2 cents for today. Please, thank you if you watched the whole video. Watch it again. Watch it 2 times. Watch it 3 times. And really let what I'm saying sink in. You feel me? I'll see you on the next one. Peace.